Hello, Capricorns, and welcome to your March 2024 horoscope. And here today, I'm going to look at the main astrological events, and I'll tell you how they will influence your zodiac sign on a deeper level. This horoscope is most accurate for your rising sign. However, you can also watch it for your moon sign or your sun sign if you wish, just to get a bigger picture and a wider perspective upon your life. All right, so here I follow Western astrology and tropical zodiac. So welcome. And we've got a really busy month because this month we are going to begin the eclipses season, starting with the Libra eclipse in your 10th house. But before we get there, there's a lot of activity in the area of communication, short distance travel as well. So it looks like it's a month when you will be making some important decisions. Now, as we begin the month, Venus is still in Aquarius in your second house. And with Venus in the second house, very often our our taste becomes more expensive, or our cravings even. But at the same time, there is that need for stability, consistency, but also harmony in this area of your life. Now, here, Venus will square Uranus in Taurus on the 3rd of March. And Uranus is currently in your fifth house, and it will be activated by this square. Squares represent tension, tense energies that require a little bit of effort, and perhaps even that needs to get out of your comfort zone. Now, Venus here, yes, so Venus squaring Uranus in the fifth house. This could mean some unexpected changes, surprises related to your finances, related to your possessions, but also related to that creative side of life, perhaps anything to do with children as well, childcare, or also anything to do with your business, clients. This sort of dynamics here are emphasized, but it looks like that perhaps most likely for many Capricorns, this could be when you'll be dealing with some unexpected fees that you will have to cover or expenses. So it's another good time for investing money in something that you're not sure about. This isn't a time to take risks because the energies are erratic and there is a lot of unpredictability in the air. At the same time, it's also essential to be or remain flexible, adaptable, because your plans might also change. Now, at the same time with that Venus and Uranus square, this could be also when you might become attracted to some unconventional, unique ways to make money, to generate income, even if it's an additional source of income. You might also have a very strong urge to free yourself from some financial obligations, for example. Now, here with this Venus and Uranus square, there is also that strong urge to express your individuality in some unique, authentic way. And maybe you will have this really strong inner desire, inner need to follow your passions and your interests, even if they are of an unconventional or unusual nature, because this could also lead to a really strong fulfillment and satisfaction. Overall, even though the energies are of an unexpected, unforeseen nature, and there could be a certain degree of disruption, overall, this transit provides this opportunity for growth and for expansion as well. Now, on the 10th, we've got a new moon in Pisces. A new moon occurs when the sun and the moon meet at the same degree in the same sign. This is the beginning of a new lunar cycle. This new moon is really important because it connects to a lunar eclipse that will be next year in Pisces in September 2025. So think about how you feel, what's going on around this new moon, because it will be significant. You could get some insight into what this cycle could be about. Now, this is happening in your third house. So the third house is communication, our mind, our thinking, our intellect, short courses, your website, anything to do with blogging, writing, journaling, short distance travel. I'm not sure if I already mentioned that, but your siblings, next of kin, this sort of dynamics, this is all here highlighted with this new moon. Now, yes, so generally there's that mixture of creativity, of practicality as well, spiritual energy as well, empathy. Perhaps you'll be involved in your community, in some community work projects. This could be about some new connections as well, people who live close to you, with the locals. And we've got Saturn and Neptune circulating around this new moon. Saturn is all about structure, stability, discipline. That's your ruler, of course. You're familiar with these energies. So whatever that you decide, whatever plans you make, whatever contracts you sign, this is going to be a long-lasting agreement, energy, goal as well. Saturn wants structure, discipline, order. Saturn doesn't like shortcuts. And Neptune here can bring a little bit of confusion, but also a lot of spiritual, creative, magical energy. Overall, here at this point, you could have a lot of ideas. Write them down. Write them down and see how you can reach these goals and objectives moving forward as the time goes by. In about 9 months, it will be first quarter moon of this cycle. And then 9 months after, more or less, there will be a lunar eclipse. So really interesting energy. So definitely pay attention to what's going on around you around this time, because this could be a really meaningful new moon for you on many, many levels. New connections, important conversations that could really change your life. Remember, you are in this major cycle where you are going to go through, you have already substantially have gone through changes in your home and career area. So now on the 17th, there's a Sun and Neptune conjunction at 27 degrees, yet again illuminating your third house. And yes, this is again spiritual energy following the new moon, lots of intuitive energy connected to compassion, empathy, and creativity. So it's a really, really creative, spiritual time of self-discovery on a deeper level. But at the same time, since it's happening in your third house, there could be misunderstandings if you don't communicate clearly, especially when it comes to your desires, your needs. So it's all about being more transparent, authentic, and your true self in order to avoid any disappointments or misunderstandings. Now, on the 21st, Venus and Saturn will conjoin. Saturn is your ruler, of course, and it will align with Venus. So here again, we've got this strong need for structure, for financial stability in your money area, in your income area, but also in your relationship. So for some Capricorns, this could be related to a new contract, perhaps that a new connection, or perhaps this is about that need to express yourself in a more practical, grounded manner. And this is all about focusing on the essentials, on the practicalities of the third house. See what's around you. You don't have to look too far at this point, because there is a lot around you that perhaps you may have missed recently. So it's all about being present, and generally keeping your eyes open for new opportunities that may arise around this time. And I think it's here during this time, avoid any meaningless conversations. But this is a time to be serious, practical, strategic. It's a really, really interesting conjunction, especially since it's in Pisces, which aligns nicely with your Capricorn ascendant. So here, this is all about being patient, being disciplined, especially when it comes to your efforts to connect with others, with other people. And communication is really, really highlighted here. Venus is connected to relationships. Saturn is all about stability, consistency. So I think this transit generally offers this amazing opportunity for building something long lasting, whether this is a new friendship, new connection, relationship, or perhaps a new contract that would have a positive impact upon your career, because Venus rules over your 10th house. Right. So the energies will be serious in the air and practical, but at the same time, it's all about taking your time and thinking deeply and carefully about the next step you want to take. And this could be very much connected to either a new connection or a connection, relationship, or perhaps anything to do with some important contract decisions you will have to make regarding your career. Now, on the 22nd, Mars will move into Pisces, and Pisces, this is your third house. So when Mars moves here, you will see that life will take a very different turn because Mars speeds things up. And with Mars here, your communication style might improve. You might feel more confident, more outspoken. But here, it's all about practicing moderation because very often with Mars in the third house, we become quite defensive when someone opposes our idea. So it's something to generally watch out for. If you see that you're getting into a hot heated debate, perhaps step back and or change the topic in order to avoid any kind of major conflicting encounters. At the same time, if you're going to be working with sharp objects, really also be careful. It's the same with driving. It's very easy to speed and drive faster than you can without realizing you might be lost in thoughts and forget that actually you're supposed to be driving at a different speed. If also remember about to display your tickets. When Mars transited in my third house a few years ago, I remember that there were a couple of incidents when I was rushing with my kids to the swimming lesson and I forgot to display the ticket. And there we go. Mars in the third house, fine. I got a fine. So it's something, because you're rushing, it's all quick, impatient, and sometimes we forget to do what we are supposed to do. So here, just to make you aware, but at the same time, it's a great time for working on intellectual or mentally stimulating assignments, projects, for studying, for building websites, and so on. And on the 25th, we've got a Libra lunar eclipse at 5 degrees. And this eclipse will take place in your 10th house. And this eclipse is connected to the new moon we had back in September 2022. And here, during this Libra eclipse, the energies, the people, the situations that you dealt with during that time might also be present, might become alive during this lunar eclipse. Here, we've got a lunar eclipse on the south node. Very often during a lunar eclipse on the south node, something or someone eclipses out of our life. And this may come as a shock, but actually, this is the necessary step towards forward, basically. So, for example, if you've been kind of unhappy with your current work situation, for example, but you just didn't have the energy to change anything, this lunar eclipse could suddenly implement the necessary changes for you to make better progress. And it might be uncomfortable because changes are not always easy, and having to adjust to a new situation requires energy. But here, the end goal with the eclipses is usually a happy ending or something necessary that was generally going to help us towards our personal growth and personal development. So here we've got you could be changing your jobs, changing your careers. Your contract could be also coming to an end. Perhaps you'll be starting something new as soon as it ends. It doesn't have to just end and that's it. Very often, people who suddenly, unexpectedly lose a job before the eclipse occurs, a couple of weeks after they find something even better. I've seen it over and over again. So definitely don't give up. Stay present, stay generally, keep on going, don't give up, because the eclipses bring opportunities. The eclipses accelerate that timeline. The timeline, if you've been generally confused, now we've got an out of sign Neptune opposition here as well. So there is a certain degree of like, where am I going with this? Where is this heading? Am I on the right track? This kind of feelings could also pop up or thoughts at times. Don't worry, you will regain a clarity. We've got another solar eclipse coming up in April. Mercury will be retrograde as well. So overall, by the end of the eclipses season, you should generally have a better idea of where you're heading with your life, or perhaps what important decisions you need to take. Here, it's just we live day by day, basically, because eclipses usually bring up so many different stories unexpectedly. There is this major shift. We don't know what's going on, but then in the end, there is a interesting resolution. Oh, right. So it's all about your career, professional life growth, development, but there is something it's coming to an end in this regard because there's a South Node lunar eclipse. And it doesn't mean that you have to generally quit your job or you lose your job, but perhaps you're moving into a different phase, a different chapter in your career. Perhaps you're starting a new professional development course. Perhaps you're launching your own business or a side hustle or learning new skills. So yes, this kind of there's an opportunity for making progress for you this at this point. But we will look at it further and deeper and more in depth closer to the day. In the meantime, have a good month, and until the next time, bye for now.